Hello, curious souls. My name is Sir Terrify, and today I'm going to tell you a true story, one of those that never leaves your mind, even when the lights go out. This isn't a made-up tale. I'm not one to meddle in other people's lives. I've always been discreet, quiet, observant, maybe too much. But ever since that man moved into house number 79 on my street, something inside me began to change. I don't know, a restlessness, as if something there was calling to me. He arrived on a cold Tuesday morning. An old truck stopped in front of the abandoned house, and out stepped a tall, thin man, unshaven, wearing a hat that shaded his eyes. His footsteps made no sound, not even on the gravel, and he didn't smile. Not when greeting the delivery man, not even when he glanced at me, watching from behind my curtain. At first I thought he was just another loner. He spoke to no one. His windows stayed shut at all times, but at night, strange sounds came, faint at first, then louder, like whispers mixed with muffled crying. I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. After all, who in their right mind jumps to the worst conclusion right away? But then came the smells. A metallic stench, thick, like aged blood mixed with mold. And it always came after midnight. That's when I started watching. Every night, flickering lights would appear on the lower floor of his house, red, like dozens of candles burning at once. Once, I saw the silhouette of someone kneeling, head bowed. It looked like they were praying, but it wasn't a prayer I recognized, not Christian, not human. It was something ancient. I wrote everything down in a notebook. The times of the sounds, the pattern of the lights, the frequency of the visitors. Yes, he had visitors. But they never left. Men and women arrived smiling, carrying bags. Some even looked happy. But none were ever seen again, not one. Until one day, I couldn't take it anymore. Something inside pushed me toward the truth, a force I couldn't explain. So, I faked being sick in front of his house, waited until he came out. I knelt on the ground, groaning loudly. It worked. He came out slowly, stared at me for long seconds, then offered help. That was the first time I heard his voice. Deep, low, almost like a distant echo. "Are you all right, neighbor?" I pretended to faint. He brought me inside. The living room was cold, dark, a strong scent of burning incense and something else. Rotten. He laid me on an old sofa and brought a glass of water. As I pretended to recover, I looked around. Strange books, statues that looked like they were made of bones, leather strips hanging from the ceiling. Some looked human. You know, I like curious neighbors, he said, sitting across from me. That chilled my blood. They're always the most, interesting. I wanted to leave, but my legs wouldn't move. I don't know if it was fear or something else. Time slowed. He stared at me like a wolf watches a wounded animal. Then he smiled for the first time, but the smile was crooked, like his mouth didn't know how to do it. He eventually let me go, said he hoped to see me again, and I ran. I didn't look back. But that night, I heard someone knock on my door. 3 knocks, slow, loud. I didn't open. The next morning, there was something on my doorstep. A black bag. Inside was a human heart, still fresh, and a note written in shaky handwriting. Now you understand. I didn't go to the police. They wouldn't believe me. And honestly, I don't think I wanted to believe it either. I tried to live normally, but the sounds continued, the lights too, and the disappearances increased. Until last night, something changed. I woke up to a voice calling me, low, repetitive. It was inside my head, but also seemed to come from outside. When I looked out the window, I saw the door to House 79 wide open, and a trail of blood leading in. My hands moved on their own. I grabbed a flashlight, went outside, crossed the street. Inside, the house was dark, except the basement. A red light pulsed from below. I descended 1 step at a time. The smell was unbearable, and then I saw it. 7 bodies, arranged in a circle. Rituals drawn on the floor in blood, and him in the center, standing, naked, covered in old scars, and with completely black eyes. He didn't speak, just raised a hand and pointed at me. Behind me, the door slammed shut, and that's when I realized I was the 8th. What if I told you another tale waits for you now? This next account was found in a forum post. The original poster never replied again. We call this one The Neighbor in 2B. This happened in 2021 when I moved to Eugene, Oregon. After my divorce, I was emotionally drained, needed a fresh start. Found a quiet apartment building tucked behind old pine trees. My new unit was on the 3rd floor. During my first week, I met my neighbor, Mr. Thomas, apartment 2B. He looked like he was in his 70s. White hair, beige sweater, clean shaven. He spoke like someone from another era. Formal, slow, polite. He gave me a slice of lemon cake. Said he bakes it every Sunday. I thanked him. But something about his eyes. They were pale, cloudy, like cataracts. And I never saw the lights on in his apartment. Ever. Not once. 3:17 a.m. After a few nights, I started waking up. Always at the same time, 3:17 a.m. Every single night. At first, it was just footsteps in the hallway. Slow, dragging, like someone shuffling their feet in slippers. Then came the knocking. 3 loud knocks on my door. Always 3. Always at 3:17. I'd rush to the peephole. Nothing. I opened the door once and felt a wave of freezing air. So cold it fogged up my windows. Then the noises changed. I started hearing groans like an old man in pain, and whispers in a voice that sounded like Thomas. One night, I swear I heard "I never left" coming from inside my closet. I left a note under his door, just something casual. Hey, we should have coffee sometime. The next morning, the same paper came back, folded on it in shaky writing. They don't let me leave for too long. That day, when I entered my apartment, there was a slice of lemon cake on my kitchen table. But I hadn't left the door unlocked. My phone started glitching. Every time I tried to record the hallway at night, the footage came out corrupted. Screeching audio, static, and one frame, where I saw a face behind me, pale, clouded eyes. My sister came to visit. She stayed one night. In the morning, she looked pale. I asked if she slept well. She said, "Who's the old man that walks the hall? He stared at me all night from your kitchen door." But I'd locked every door. She refused to stay another night. That night, I couldn't sleep. I searched through my move-in folder, found the building's previous tenant list. There it was, Thomas Whitaker, apartment 2B, deceased, November 6th, 2006, 15 years ago. I went to the manager the next day. She frowned. "That apartment's been sealed for over a decade. He died alone. In the armchair. Took days before the smell leaked out." I told her what I'd seen. She turned pale. Walked me to 2B. The door was dusty, locked. She used the master key. Inside, it was empty, cold. No lights, no furniture. Just a rotting rug, a beige armchair, and a slice of lemon cake on a table. Still warm. I called my mom that night, told her everything. She went quiet, then said, "Thomas Whitaker. That was my uncle. He disappeared when I was little. Everyone assumed he moved away quietly, but he always used to bake lemon cake every Sunday." I asked her if he ever talked to spirits. She said, no, but some people in the family believed he was cursed, that he'd never leave the place he died in. I tried to sleep that night, just one more night before moving out. But again, at 3:17 a.m., 3 knocks. This time, I didn't get up. I waited, holding my breath, and then a whisper through the door. "Sit in the chair. It's your turn now." I opened the door slowly. The hallway was dark, but at the end, I saw him. Mr. Thomas, smiling, pale eyes glowing faint yellow. He turned, walked into 2B. The door closed on its own. I moved out the next morning, burned the welcome papers, blocked the building manager's number, but now, months later, I still wake up, always at 3:17 a.m., and sometimes even in other cities. I swear I smell it. Lemon cake, and hear 3 knocks on a door that isn't even there.